What's good, you guys? It is Will here from PSYCHONAUT Visions, signing back in once again, coming at you with another video today. Now, today, I've had kind of a, I wouldn't say a bad day, just kind of a tough one. I woke up and I really didn't have much to do. Like, there was nothing on my agenda, and I kind of just didn't really know what to do and where to begin. But, I just, with that, kind of came some more difficult emotions to deal with. Just kind of feeling lazy, feeling in a self-deprecatory state, and really just kind of viewing things more pessimistically. And it's something that I think, like, pessimism is fine, because I think you can't expect that everything is going to be seen in the light and in a side of optimism, but at the same time, the same goes for pessimism. But I think there's also a balance of realism, of being realistic. And my life is fine. I mean, I'm still extremely young, and I feel like in due time I can achieve whatever I set out to, But if any of you guys watched my most recent video, I talked a lot about the parent relationship dynamic, and how it's hard for the child sometimes to kind of come out of their shell a little bit and sort of be more authentic, show a more genuine side of emotion towards the parents. It can be difficult, and for me it's the same case. I related it to the feeling of being a caterpillar and trying to come out of my shell and basically be the butterfly. That metamorphosis, a figurative sense of metamorphosis, that's what it is with the child-parent relationship dynamic for me. And here I sit, still yet to have fully shown my parents a lot of what I'm about in terms of my interest, in terms of what I've been through over the last couple of years. And I haven't really shown them that in many ways I am growing up, I am maturing and becoming an adult, and essentially becoming the butterfly, and showing them that I'm so into writing, and that I've written down a lot of my personal experiences, and that's how I like to express myself, and I just haven't shown that to them, right? And it's been tough, because it's like, I love my parents. I mean, they raised me in this world. They're the only reason I'm here. But it's just somewhat odd, because they've always seen me, and the parents, right, like parents, they always see their kids as such, as kids, as children, as so innocent, but when your child grows up and starts to experience things on their own, and matures and adds another layer on top of another layer of understanding in terms of like what the world is like, and things like that, that their child understands more like the level of vulnerability that is present in this world as a human being. And it's hard to really express that as the child in the dynamic, and I'm sure it's hard for a parent as well. Obviously I can't speak from experience in that regard, but ultimately, the fact that I still haven't opened up to my parents, and the fact that I know it could happen at any moment, at any time, I just haven't quite committed to doing it yet. It's just this feeling that's just kind of be floating over me, like this dark cloud that's going to be following me until I do it, of just like, I got to execute, I got to get it done, right? And it's just kind of put me down a little bit, just kind of made me question my actual confidence, my ambitions, and it's just constantly been on my mind. But the one thing that I've understood is that, like, emotions themselves are temporary. We all have bad days, we all feel like shit from time to time, but that's the thing, it's not going to last forever. It's this feeling that's there, and I would advise anyone to allow yourself to feel that feeling of distress, of anxiety, of fear, whatever it may be. Feel it, allow it to flow through you. Don't fall in love with that feeling, I wouldn't say, but allow yourself to feel it. Because it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. It may feel like it will. It may feel like, oh man, I'm stuck. I'm never going to get out of such a loop, out of such a feeling, a time in my life, or whatever the case may be. But every emotion, every feeling is temporary, because we're always taking the next step, whether it seems like it or not. We're always moving forward and progressing in this life in some regard. And I believe that I will ultimately open up to my parents very soon about a lot of what I've been through, and a lot of what I talk about on this channel, a lot of what I talk about in my books and things of that nature, in my book that I wrote. But last year, I uploaded a video. I can't remember the exact date. I'm going to have to look it up. But it was at some point last year when I made a video on this channel titled, There's Something I Need to Get Off My Chest. And I talked a lot about sexuality. I talked a lot about some very personal problems and issues in my life. And the whole purpose of my first book that I published a few months back, and then I was writing pretty much all of 2021, was to basically open up to somebody, anybody, about my sexuality and about the troubles I faced in my sex life. And it's like talking to your parents about such a matter is very difficult. So that's why I was not really trying to do that as much. So I basically made it my goal to basically talk to Alex. I wanted to talk to Alex about a lot of what I've been through, a lot of what I've faced. And regarding sex life, to be honest, it's a whirlwind of confusion, and it was back then, which is why I didn't really know exactly what it was that I was trying to open up about. And during that time of like February and March of last year, so basically a year ago, I was genuinely like losing a grasp of sanity. I was feeling like ungodly alone, just stuck in my own mind. And I was just in a state of solitude that just never seemed like it was going to end until I was able to do something about it. And I did ultimately open up to Alex, which was great, and I'm grateful that he was even there to hear me out about some of my problems. But after that, it was kind of like, oh, well, what's next? Like, what do I really need to get off my chest? What do I want to talk about? And as time's gone on, I've developed more of an interest in philosophy and psychedelics. I've started uploading quite a bit on this YouTube channel. I continue writing, and all these things that I'm gaining interest towards. I still kind of leave my parents in the dust, but I kind of realized that in order for me to grow, it can't be to my parents' dismay. Like, I gotta inform them of what I'm doing. They raised me in this world. They show love, and although I try to show love, and I definitely love them, it's like there's a lot that I need to tell them, and I really just think it's something I gotta do very soon. It could happen after I'm done making this video. I just went for a run. When I get home, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen tomorrow. Maybe it'll happen the next day, right? I'm not setting a specific deadline on when it's going to happen, but the more and more I think about it, the more likely it's going to be to just kind of happen. And I feel like my relationship with my parents is going to change, but more than likely for the better, because it'll be a real authentic side of me that I'm displaying, showing like what I'm really into and showing what I've actually been through. Because I think if they were to read a lot of what I've written and a lot of what I've said on this channel, or kind of just hear me out on much of what I've been through, I think it would show them a lot about the fact that I am becoming a man, that I am growing up, that I have seen a level of vulnerability in my life, that I have grown to, at least to an extent, understand more so like what it's like in this world, what society's like. I mean, I'm not just simply a kid anymore. In some ways I may be an adolescent still, like I'm still learning and growing and developing as always, but in many ways I am becoming a man. And I just hope that my parents, are informed of that soon enough. But regardless, it's just a lot of tough things to talk about. And to be honest, going into this video, I thought I was going to talk about the idea of emotions being temporary a lot more and build off of that. But this subject has been so frequently on my mind. I've been fixated on this topic, that being my relationship with my parents, that it's inevitable that I was going to talk about it, because until I get that done, until I go forth and actually tell them a lot of this stuff, it's just always going to be there. But the more it's there, the more it's in my mind, man, the more I'm just going to start to honestly go crazy. I mean, the funny thing about it is, throughout life, we have all these steps. We have all these steps on top of steps on top of steps, right? You just keep going and going. But occasionally you'll have this leap, You know, you'll have a leap that you have to make. But obviously you see that leap and you notice that it's intimidating, it's a risk. So when you're sitting there observing it, you may sit there for a while. You may begin to feel stuck because the only way forward is to take that leap, but it's intimidating, all right? It's not easy to take. And so that's why you can be stuck in this state, which is tough when you're just, you know what you want to do, but you know it's a risk and you're not entirely sure how to go about it, or what if you should even do it, or when, or, you know, just all these things. But if you can take that leap, it's the ultimate transformation, you know, and that's what I'm going through in my life right now. It's just, at least mentally, just a transformation. I just feel like I'm growing and finally like willing to invite my parents into my life more than I have. You know, it's like I talk to them, but I don't talk to them about a lot of what I'm genuinely going through. And I'm hoping I can really change that. It's just, until I do, there's probably going to be a focal point of a lot of my videos. And just hope you guys are here to hear me out. You know, even if no one watches this voice crack, I'm just trying to get my voice out there. I'm just trying to express myself and allow this to be a form of therapy. Yeah, literally no one could watch it, but for me, it's just a way to get something off my chest, to release an emotion. And if anyone happens to tune in, then thank you very much. You know, because I mean, that's, if anything, I would be grateful to at least help or impact someone. And yeah, but I don't want to keep you guys too long. I hope you enjoyed or took something from it, and I hope nothing but the best for anybody watching. Peace, love, and happiness. That's what I'm sending anyone's way. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. So feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and Will from PSYCHONAUT Visions signing out.